So I think it is an interesting phenomenon that people are returning to audio applications. I hear that in the United States there is this application called Clubhouse where people chat via audio connections, and you have this ambience of a clubhouse where people meet and have small talks, and it's the hottest application right now in the United States. And so this is really interesting because we are living in a broadband era, and we have all these rich contents equipped with visual splinter. So why should we go back to audio? One way to explain it is that audio releases your imagination, because when you have visual input, that constrains the interpretations in your brain, so that you don't have the scope for imagination, and you are limited to a certain context. Whereas if you have only audio input, you can use your imagination to visualize what is being said, and you have this extra freedom to play around. So the scope for imagination is definitely one thing. The other thing is that when you listen to audio, you tend to attend to the essentials, because visual information is, after all, distraction. It's a distraction, because when you are listening to somebody, the concepts matter, right? And what is being said on the deep level is what really matters. When you discuss, for example, human freedom, you really need to attend to the abstract manifestations of this concept as it plays out in society and in history. So, you really need to focus on what it means to have freedom in various different situations played out in our society and in history. However, when you're listening to audiovisual presentation, when that person is discussing freedom, you are also distracted to how he or she looks, what kind of clothes he or she may be wearing, and all these the interiors of the room, and all these miscellaneous things that are not so essential when you think about freedom. So it's really important to realize that visual information can be distractors as well as valuable providers of information. So the need for your imagination to be released, and the need to attend to the essential things about a subject, these two things can be a really attractive aspects of audio-only application. And after all, we are humans, and we would love to use our brain in its broadest spectrum. So in this era of visually rich contents, streaming, and so on, we sometimes feel that the way we use our brains are somewhat biased. It's not balanced. So sometimes we like to tap into our brain's ability to use the imagination and to attend to the essential points about a subject. That's when we use audio-only applications, I think. And so in Japan, I am using an application called Voicey, and I'm using it to broadcast daily small chat show. And it is fun to do it. And although I do broadcasting in many channels, including YouTube, I do feel that our audio-only channel has its really great potential in the coming years. And so I love to see how applications like Clubhouse would evolve from here. And that should be a good news for us and for human brains in general. So let's stay tuned and see what happens to audio only applications.